before proficiency-based grading, you know, you would just get a grade and then you wouldn't really know where particularly you went wrong or how you could fix it. So proficiency-based grading kind of helps you kind of understand where you went wrong and then where you can improve from that.
For nearly almost every project or assignment, we get a proficiency scale with it. Usually, the teacher will go through the scale with the class and often point out specific things that we will need to do in order to get the 4, the extending, which is, of course, what many of us are reaching for.
So yes, it's missing key labels. If you were to turn in this model for me, I would actually give this a 1. Here's why.
You have like whatever they're targeting is part of the scale, and in each section it tells you like what you should be doing to be able to demonstrate this. And so they kind of grade that using those skills, which is very helpful because you know exactly what you should be doing and how you should be doing it.
Students see these scales over and over and over again and get feedback on them, and in a proficiency-based system that's really important because the goal is that all students are going to be able to achieve mastery, and they need that repetitive practice and feedback in order to do that.
I think at times it can definitely be beneficial because they're telling you how you can improve your work. Like, people learn from mistakes, and so if they give you an opportunity to make a mistake and revise it, then I think that people for the most part learn better that way.
So we spend a lot of time thinking about what we know as content experts, thinking about what the standards say, and then trying to put it into student-friendly language. You know, these are the 11 skills we want you to really master this year in American Experience. Or these are the 13 skills we want you to really master in your 9 to 12 English career.
With the scales, there's different categories of the scales or different levels. So in the top level, it might be that you're using lots of outside resources, you're meeting all the specific criteria that you can meet, but going like above and beyond. Whereas what we call a 3, so that's like the achieving. So that's really what we're often told to aim for, because that means that you're understanding everything and you are meeting all the requirements for the project. And if you're below that, it's more of a good sign that you need what you need to continue working on to improve yourself.
It definitely challenges you to push yourself to go that little extra step, although sometimes it can be really frustrating when you're not exactly sure what that extra step is.
Yeah, I was really confused at first because I was like, I did what was expected of me and I got a B, and I was like, what? That doesn't make sense. So they definitely want you to really show that you know and extend, that's why it's called extending, into the learning. Because in middle school I usually did what was expected of me, got a 100, but when you do what's expected you get a B, and I'm like, whoa, that's very different.
In high school you have to really challenge yourself and push yourself to do more for your learning.
We think about our clear learning outcomes as a pyramid. So at the very top are CHS essential expectations: think, communicate, learn, and act. And so these are things we want all graduates to exhibit regardless of the content area. Then disciplines: each subject area has identified the skills that are most important to that discipline. And then we've broken those down into course proficiencies. And so those are the things that students see on scales, on assessments. And then the last thing we have are learning targets. So that's when we've made it specific to the content unit. So we might have a course proficiency about understand and apply that talks about history in general, but the learning targets then break it down specifically into World War I content, for example.
We do see 2 different grades. The one that's in the book is more like a number grade, so each proficiency has a certain number to it, which gives you your end goal. And extending is 100 and achieving is 85, and there's an in-between each scale too, so you can get a 3.5 or whatever on the scale. We also get on our report cards back, we get a separate 4, 3, 2, and 1 on self-regulation and persistence in our learning, so we can see how we're progressing in that too over the course of the year.
It's something that's there to help you and help you do better in classes and just help you become a better learner. for whatever you might be doing after high school, you know, because these kind of projects and assessments kind of help you to, the skills that you gain from them help you with whatever career path that you may choose in the future to just go out there and, you know, not just achieve but extend in whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
Is that burning?
Yeah.
Is that also burning? Okay.
One analogy that somebody shared was that this type of learning and grading allows the teacher to be like the coach instead of the ref, and I kind of like that.
For some people, I can definitely see how it's difficult, but for others, it does definitely push you in a way that is different from middle school, because you actually need to know what you're doing instead of just memorizing and spewing.
Well, they certainly make you work harder and do more than what's expected of you, because oftentimes doing what's expected of you gets you an 85. So it really does push you to do more and understand the concept better in order to get that high grade.
I know at the end of a unit, students are going to be writing an essay. I want to make sure that they're practicing the proficiencies that go into that ahead of time, like creating a claim or using quotes from a book, which would be geared towards our evidence and details proficiency. So I might give them, you know, a journal assignment throughout their reading that would allow them to create a claim about a character and integrate a quote that would support their claim. And those are the two of the skills that are going to be present on their essay, and I can give them feedback on how they're doing with those skills along the way, and then they have opportunities for revision so that they can apply my feedback. And then when it comes time for that essay, I know where my students are already on those proficiencies because I've given them opportunities to practice ahead of time. And so I know if they're prepared, and if they're not, what more I need to do to prepare them.
You can put it to anything, like if you were a sports player, like what you should be doing like on JV versus like varsity or whatever. So you could apply it to any aspect in life. So you can do like what's just basically expected of me, or I could do more. So it really helps you to develop that mentality of wanting to always do better because of you're always constantly doing it and you're learning.
We're making sure every student is engaged in the work, every student is appropriately challenged, and we're finding even more flexible and engaging ways to do that with students, and I think that's really exciting. It's a very exciting time to kind of be a high school student because you have a lot more opportunities.